Hi everyone, it's Jackie with Paper Moments, and I'm here to share with the tutorial on how to create my romance folio by Authentique. It is an 8.5 by 9.5 folio, and I will walk you through on how to create each page from the cover all the way to the waterfall. So let's begin. You're going to need chipboard pieces. You're going to need to cut your chipboard 8 by 9.5, and you're going to need one of those. So I've got that right here. So you're going to need one 8 by 9.5 chipboard. You're going to need two pieces that are 6.5 by 9.5. So I've got those two here. And then you're also going to need two pieces that are 3/4 by 9.5, which I have right here. So let's get our paper ready. I've already cut my paper down to 11.5, and I just need to join them. And the reason I cut it down to 11.5 is I wanted to add an inch on the top and an inch on the bottom. So, and we're going to need three pieces that are, like I said, 11.5 by 12. So you're going to need, whoops, I just really went out of the line on that one. And then you want to just add them together, match them up together. Find my phone folder, because I know it's here somewhere. I didn't have it out of thought. Maybe I didn't. I did, so let me find, there it is, right there. Okay, so and then one more. I'm going to add that one. Now, I'm using my art glitter glue. You can use your score tape, but art glitter glue works just as well, I found. Now, what I do for my guideline, for my 1 inch, is I go ahead and I score my one side at 1 inch. So that's going to give me my 1 inch guideline to line my chipboard up with. And I normally do this before I glue them together, but I didn't, so we'll just go work that way. I already added score tape to the back of my board, so the first one I want is my let's see here, I want this. It's going to be my one. And we want to leave an inch at the end. Let's get that over. And then my spine. My chipboard. My other spine. And my chipboard. So I'm going to move this over just a little bit because I want the seam here not to be close to the edge. So I'm going to move that over a little bit here. And that's going to be too much. Right. There, there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the backing off of this. and line it up to my line. Press it down. See, I already messed up. I'm not going to be able to take these up either. Nope. Alright. I'll work on this side and I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix that. So if you see what I did not leave. When I moved it around, I didn't move it back. So I didn't leave enough room over here, my 1 inch over here, so I'm going to fix it. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to remove 1 inch off of this. Line this up with my 1 inch, and then push it off. And turn it over this way. And I'm going to cut some of this off on this side as well. I'm going to take about 1 inch off on this side as well. Actually, I'm going to take about 1 1/4 inches off. Okay. And then I'm going to piece my paper together on this side, which I don't normally do, but since I really messed up and I'm really low on chipboard, I don't want to have to restart again. So I'm going to do it this way and make it work. All right. All right, that will work. And as you can see, I'm using the thinner chipboard. I normally don't. I use the heavy-duty chipboard, the heavyweight, but I am completely out of it. I only have scraps left, and I did not realize that until I went to cut this chipboard to do this tutorial. So I am making it with the lightweight chipboard, which is not normally something that I use, but it's going to work. So, all right. Then we're going to cut this off at 1 inch as well. Okay, so there I have it. Put that out of my way. I'll go ahead and pull my I'm mitering my corners so it will lay nicer. And I do that before I add any of my adhesive at all. And I'm just going to come in and miter them that way after I've cut my squares. Adding my glue just right next to my chipboard and my paper so it will be more pliable, less a tendency to crack on me. And I do use the score tape on here so it will catch the paper. And then I will use the what is wrong with that? That did not work. I can do that again. Okay. And then I'm going to add my glue along this edge here. I missed mitering these corners. I don't know how, but I did. This side. And another one I didn't miter. Maybe I shouldn't be doing a tutorial today. I am definitely not doing my best here. Okay. Just running my round edge of my bone folder over these so that it will, paper will catch to the tape that I put in between my folio. And there you go. Okay, now add my paper to the inside. So my paper, my width of my, not width, but my, yeah, my width of my book is 9.5. So I'm going to cut my paper for inside at 9 5/8. 9 3/8. I'm sorry, 9 3/8. So it's going to cover the inside there. And I need one more. Now I did 3/8. And it's going to overlap a little bit there, which I want. So, using my score tape, I'm going to go ahead and use my 3/4 on this. And in order for my paper to catch in between here on this tape, I don't run my tape the same vertical. I'm going to run it horizontal, so that way it catches on the tape itself. Put back over here, and I just undo my middle ones, and then I line it up to where I want it. So it's even on top and bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and start to unravel my tape. Maybe. The other one. And again, just doing the middles. And this over here, and I'm going to line it up. There you go. There's my cover to the folio. Now, I use ties ribbon to tie mine shut, as you can see here. And I'll be doing ribbons on this one as well when I decorate it. So, or you can put your magnets on here. It would take 3 magnets to hold it down. But what I would do is I would put one magnet here, one here, and one here. That way it's going to hold it shut perfectly and keep the inside one close. Alright, so that's our cover. So let's go ahead and get started with our pages. So, for page, the first left-hand cover, inside, we're going to create a pocket, and then we're going to create a flap. Alright, so for the pocket, you're going to need a piece of cardstock cut at 10.5 by 5.5 and a piece of cardstock cut at 6 by 8.5. And then we're gonna, on the 10.5 by 5.5, you're going to score it on 3 sides at 1/2 inch. So you're going to score a half, rotate it around, and another half. And then you want to miter your corners. And that is your pocket. And on your 6 by 8.5, along the 6-inch side, you're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Move that out of the way. So, then we want to put the pocket down first. So go ahead and score your score lines. And the pocket's going to sit right here. Right there. Alright. I'll show you again. So what you're going to do is your pocket's going to fit right there. And your flap's going to go here. Before you put your pocket down, you want to put your flap down. Now, this is not, again, this is 8 inches compared to the 9.5. So I put it about 3/4. So it's 8.5. So it's a 1/2 inch on each top. 9.5. This is 8.5. So it's going to be a 1/2 inch on each side. Top and bottom. So move that over here. Move it down just a hair. I'm not actually measuring, I just eyeball mine. So I go ahead and put that down. And then I'm going to place my my pocket right on top of it. Open that up, and that way it's going to close right over the top of your pocket. So go ahead and add your adhesive to your pocket. Matching it from top to bottom. And right there, on the, not over the seam line of your flap, but right next to the seam, the score line, right here. Oh, it's with my glue today. It doesn't want to stick. So you get your pocket and then your flap. And then you just want to crease that score line. Okay. And that's your first one. Now, for the waterfall, you are going to want to cover the back of your page with your pattern paper prior to doing your pocket and your waterfall. But just for tutorial measures or meetings, I'm going to go ahead and do mine without my pattern paper on it. So you're going to need, for the pocket, bottom pocket, you're going to need a 9x3. And again, you want to score it on all three sides at a 1/2 inch. So a half along the 3-inch side and a half on the 9-inch side and a half on the 9-inch side. Your back page is an 8 by 9.5. So that is one of the reasons why you went a inch larger with your paper. Make sure you miter all your corners too. Just helps when you put things in there. They don't catch, and it makes your pocket lay nice and flat and even. It's going to match up to that seam there, right here, in the bottom seam. So it should fit right there at the bottom. All right, what did I do with my... Okay. Then you're going to cut 8 pieces at 5 by 6.5 for your waterfall. So that's 8 pieces, 5 by 6.5. And on the 5-inch side, you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch. So your waterfall is going to be a 4 by 6.5, which is going to give it a nice size for any photos there. So you want to go ahead and score all 8 pieces on the 5-inch side at 1/2 inch. Okay. You have 8 of those scored at the 5-inch side. And for this purpose, since I don't have my back pattern paper on, I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can do your waterfall. So I'm going to cut this at 6.5. width of my waterfall pages. Okay. And let me see. Where's my book? So, I'm going to cut it at 8. So I'm cutting a piece that's 6.5 by 8. And we're going to pretend that this is my back. Alright. So for my waterfall pages, I'm going to go ahead and fold over all my score lines. With the artesian cardstock, you really, when you go to score it, Tammy recommends it, and I highly recommend it as well, is double score. So, because the artesian cardstock is so thick and it's such a heavy and it's such a good quality that sometimes it's hard to fold your score lines over if you don't give it a couple of good scores on it. So, alright, so all of mine are there. And now we're going to pretend that this 6.5 by 8.5 is my back page. Now, you can put them straight here on your back page like this. Just line them up. Once you have your pattern paper down, you can line them up like I did on the other one. But for this, because I want to be able to use this, and I can still put my pattern paper in with my pocket down here, I'm just going to add it to this. So for your waterfall on your 1/2 inch score line, you want to add your adhesive. And again, it can be score tape or your liquid glue. In my case, it's my art glitter glue. So I'm just lining it right up, side to top. Alright, so the top of my 6.5 by 8, and making sure that it's fitting both sides here, and then up here on top. And then I'm going to add my next page, and all I'm going to do is meet this page right up to the bottom of that score line, keeping it even, making sure they're matching side to side. And there's 2 waterfalls, and now we're going to do the next one. Matching it right up to the bottom of that 1/2 inch score base. Matching it up side to side so that it's all even when you come down. And again, the next one. Matching it up side to side. And not going over the top of that, just lining it right up next to it. So there's our 1/2 inch that we just glued down. My next one, I'm just going to line it right up next to that, not going over. Make sure my sides are even. next one on. We're going to keep doing this until we have all 8 of our waterfall pages on here. And matching it up. Matching it up again. And our last one. Now I'm going to show you the difference between doing it this way or just adding it straight to your book. So let me match this one up. Perfect. Okay, so there's my waterfall. Okay, so if I did it straight to my page, my back page, like I did on my folio, my romance folio, I put my pattern paper down and then I added my waterfall pieces right onto the page, matching them up, okay? And as you can see, what happens is on that very last one, this is my last waterfall right here, I'm going to have this one little piece right here where I glued it down. And I just added decorative paper to it. It looks great. You really can't tell. But by doing it on the separate piece of paper like I just did, what I would do is I would put glue on the back and I would glue this right here on here, okay? And what that's going to give you is when you go to do your waterfalls, you're going to have an extra one here. So it's going to end up, if I can show you. So it's going to end up like this. So it's going to come over your top of your pocket, but then you're going to have a solid piece here that you can add another piece of cardstock to. All right, so that's the difference. And then, so I'm not going to glue this down yet because I'm going to add my pattern paper and then I'll glue this on top. That's going to fit right under there. Okay, or I can come up and I can just cut it off right here and do the same as I did there. So I'm going to put that in there, all right, and we're going to just leave that there. You're going to need a piece of cardstock cut at 2 by 7 3/4, and you're going to want to score it a 1/2 inch. At the bottom of your, and this is going to be your tag, so it's 7 3/4, scoring it a 1/2. And when I go back to decorate this, I will be doing corner rounders or a decorative corner punch on here. So I'm just going to put that there. And then we're going to just align this up right on top of the pocket. Okay? And that's going to keep your waterfall down. That's going to be your flap for your waterfall. And I want to do it right in the middle. Right there. Now, when I go to cover my pocket with my pattern paper, I will also cover this little 1/2 inch that it won't show, okay? So it's not going to show once you put pattern paper on top of your pocket. You're not going to see that. And so you just come over like this. So just like what I did here, I just added this here to my pocket and then brought it up with a magnetic closure. So I just had, and then I covered it with my pattern paper so you can't see the bottom, and then just come up and cover it. Okay. So that's the middle. Now for this side, and that's your right hand side. So you've got a flap, and I just put a stopper here with the cut aparts, and then another stopper over on this side with a cut apart, with one of the cut aparts. Then I did another flap with the 3 pockets, and then I just did a faux pocket here, or a faux pocket here with one of the cut aparts. Okay, so we want to start with, you want a piece of cardstock that is, you're going to want one that is 6.5 by 8.5, and you're going to need one that is 5.5 by 9.5, and then you're going to need one piece that is 3.5 by 5, and then two pieces that are 3.5, and those are your pockets. So we're going to start with your 5.5 by 9.5. And you want to, on the 5.5 inch side, you want to score it at 1/2 inch. I'm going to score that a couple of times there. On your 8.5 by 6.5, you want to score it as well at, on the 6.5 side at 1/2 inch. Pull that over. So you've got your 9.5, which is going to have your pockets on it. Then you have your 8.5, which is going to be in the middle of that. Okay. So what I did is I went ahead and I added this 8.5 or 6.5 by 8.5 right on here, and again measuring it between the two, making it even, eyeballing it. Alright, making a mess with your glue like I just did, but that's going to hide it. That's okay. Alright, so that's what you have right there. Okay, and this is added on to the side that has your 1/2 inch fold over. Okay, and then because this is going to meet exactly at the top and the bottom of my page, I do miter it, the corners. So I'm going to add glue to it. Okay. And then I'm going to just meet it up edge to edge, right along the side. Turn this back around so you can see it. So I've got my one flap over here, and then I got my second flap over here. Okay. Now we want to add our pockets on here. So your 3.5 is going to go in the middle. Your 3 by 5 is going to go at the top, and your other 3.5 is going to go down here. Okay, so on the top, you just want to do adhesive on the two sides, because this is going to allow that pocket to go all the way down. All right, so I'm just going to line it up here. Down. I'm going to bring it down just an inch more. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same with my 3.5 by 5. Just glue on the two sides, and line it up even with this side, that side, and bring it up just a wee bit. Now I will tell you, mat these before you add this one or this one, okay? And I'm going to do the same with this one. I'm just going to add it. This one's going to get it on all 3 sides. So I'm going to do the 2 sides and the bottom on this one. And that's going to be going right up there with that one. So now I have a pocket up here that's going to go all the way down. This one's going to go all the way down. And this one's going to go all the way down. And then it won't fall out at the bottom. So if you don't want your pockets to go all the way down like I just did, then glue them on all 3 sides. Okay, but I like to be able to put a longer tag in here and be able to pull it out. If you're going to just use your cut parts and you don't want a longer tag. So this is 6 1/4 inches long. So by putting it there, I could still have a tag there. Or I can make it 6 1/2 and hold it up that way, pull it out. And this one you'd want to just do the smaller size. That is the folio, the inside of it. And again, you just want to miter those down. That goes that way. And then for the pocket on this side, you want to cut a 1 1/4 by 9 1/2 sheet, a piece of cardstock, and then it's going to be a faux pocket. Again, it's not one that has the sides. I wanted to keep it tucked in there tight, so I just did glue on all 3 sides for that one. So what I did was, and again, you want to make sure your book has the paper, your pattern paper on it before you do a faux pocket, because you're not going to be able to put the pattern paper all the way across. So you could leave this open and bring your paper only to here. That's going to save your paper because you're not going to see inside. Or you can pattern your paper before. So that's just a little faux pocket right there that holds your little cut-aparts. And then again, what I did was I added ribbon to this, and then ribbon to here. I don't believe I took it all the way around. Nope, I didn't. I added ribbon on this hinge, the spine here, and ribbon here, and that's how I closed mine. Was right there. And that is the tutorial for this folio. If you have questions, don't hesitate to send me an post or an email, and I will definitely answer them. And I appreciate you joining me. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.